I'm Maxime Verbiest, and this is our 10-lesson course on Tarot as a way to the soul. In this lesson, we will explore the Tarot as a fundamental unity. So get ready for a gallery tour into the many dimensions of your consciousness. You may feel eager to know what the soul is about, but unfortunately, the soul is something too high, too deep, and too wide to be fit into a definition that we can put in a dictionary of psychology. If you want to grasp what the soul is about, you will need first to relax a little bit and to set your mind into the right mindset. To do so, we may start by invoking the arcana which is the most mysterious, the best representative of the unfathomable dimension of the soul, the Fool, or le Mat in French. Meet the Mat. Look at him. You see a middle-aged man dressed as a jester walking in the countryside. To his side there is a dog, and it is unclear if the dog attacks him or it is his pet dog. He's showing one of his buttocks and doesn't seem to care. The Mat is the only major arcana with no number, and that is very important. And that's probably the reason that the Mat has been integrated into the poker game. So in one way, we cannot say if it's a major or a minor arcana. But what is important is that the Mat will be the center and the guide into Tarot. And we are going to enter in a visualization. So you will need not only the Mat, but all the other arcana to be spread in a very large table with the Mat as its center. Know that you have placed the Mat in the center of your table. Use the 21 remaining major arcana. The major arcana are those who have that numeration in Latin, and order them with the magician in the east and follow a clockwise movement that will end with the world just by the side of the world. Pause the video and install every arcana around the Mat. Even if you don't understand the meaning of the arcana, you have in front of you, with that circle, the many dimensions of your soul. So just browse them, relax, and let your imagination get impressed. You may pause the video and observe them as long as you want. From your card deck, pick the suit of Denier. Denier are the 14 arcana with the little coin. From the suit of Denier, pick the Ace of Denier and place it north, around 20 centimeters from the circle of major arcana. Then, starting east and turning clockwise, arrange the 13 remaining arcana from 2, 3, 4, etc. till the 10, and then Page, Knight, Queen, and King to close the circle. In front of you, you have the projection of your physical consciousness the basic needs for security, for pleasure, your relationship with materiality, with money, your deepest fears are concentrated in that suit of denier. You may pause the video and take as much time as you like to contemplate upon that very important part of your mind. Now, you can take the 14 arcana of the suit of cups. Pick the Ace of Cups and place it to the west 20 centimeters away from the circle of major arcana. Then, one by one, starting by the 2 and ending by the King, place the 13 remaining arcana around the Ace of Cups. In front of you, you have the projection of your emotional mind, your need for attachment, your need for belonging, for receiving and giving love to any levels. Take as much time as you like to observe that very important dimension of your mind, and you may pause the video. Now, you can take the 14 arcana of the suit of swords, and you will immediately realize that a lot of them do not contain any swords, so observe them well. Place the Ace of Swords in the east 20 centimeters away from the circle of major arcana, and place from the 2 to the King clockwise all the 13 remaining arcana around the Ace of Swords. In front of you, you have your intellect, the part of your mind that allows you logic, to create opinions, to understand abstractions. Take as much time as you like to observe that very important dimension of your mind. The remaining arcana of the deck is the suit of wands. Place the Ace of Wands in the south 20 centimeters away and trace the circle as you did for the other. In front of you, you have one of the most subtle aspects of your mind, your power of creativity, of individuality, of desire. Take as much time as you like to observe it, and you may pause the video. In front of you, you can find 5 circles, a large circle of the major arcana, and 4 small circles of the minor arcana. So don't worry if your setup is messy, because your consciousness is very messy. Imagine all those dimensions of consciousness continuously interact with each other. So you can observe the outer side of your consciousness with the physical, the emotional, the intellect, and the creative consciousness. All those 4 minor circles are the basis of what we call the mind. And it is pretty much what you know about yourself. But then, at the center, there is the big cycle of the soul. And, well, about the soul we don't know much. So if we go back to Le Mat, at the very center, and if we can imagine what's happened, if we concentrate all the symbols of the 21 number major arcana in it, and all the symbols of the four suits of denier, cups, swords, and wands, if we put all that together, we have the meaning of le mat. So no wonder why English-speaking people call it the Fool. Because if you put that in your consciousness, you just get crazy. That's how intricate the Fool is. And that is how the Fool is there to remind us that the human consciousness is too broad to be understood by the mind. And that's exactly why we do need the tarot to unpack consciousness. So now you have covered the tarot in its intrinsic unity and complexity. I invite you to do this visualization over and over again to start to realize what is probably the most important thing to keep in mind. That the tarot is a unity, and there is no way to separate the meaning of one arcana to the meaning of the other arcana. So if you want to understand the major, you need the minor. If you want to understand the minor, you need the major. If you want to understand the meaning of the suit of cups, you need to understand the meaning of the suit of swords. They are all part of a very complex and intricate body of your consciousness.